Hello, my name is Mr Cher Xiong. Today, I'm going to read a short story, and this story written by M. Fox, illustrated by Julie Rivers. And the story is Possum Magic. Let's listen in.
Once upon a time, but not very long ago, deep in the Australian bush lived two possums. Their names were Hush and Grandma Pose. Grandma Pose made bush magic. She made wombats blue and kookaburras pink. She made dingoes smile and emus shrink. But the best magic of all was the magic that made Hush invisible. What adventures Hush had! Because she couldn't be seen, she could be scorched by koalas. Because she couldn't be seen, she could slide down kangaroos. Because she couldn't be seen, she was safe from snakes. Which is why Grandma Pose had made her invisible in the first place. But one day, quite unexpectedly, Hush said, "Grandma, I want to know what do I look like. Please you could make me visible again." "Of course I can," said Grandma Pose, and she began to look through her magic books. She looked into this book, and she looked into that. There was magic for thin, and magic for fat, magic for tall, and magic for small. But the magic she was looking for wasn't there at all. Grandma Pose looked miserable. "Don't worry, Grandma," said Hush. "I don't mind." But in her heart of hearts she did. All night long, Grandma Pose thought and thought. The next morning, just before breakfast, she shouted, "It's something to do with food. People food, not person food. But I can't remember what. We will just have to try and find it." So later that day, they left the bush where they'd always been to find what it was that would make Hush sing. They ate Essex biscuits in Adelaide, money and minties in Melbourne, steak and salad in Sydney, and pumpkin scones in Brisbane. Hush remained invisible. "Don't lose heart," said Grandma Pose. "Let's see what we can find in drawing." It was day in the far north of Australia that they found a Vegemite sandwich. Grandma Pose closed her claws and closed her feet. Hush breathed deeply and began to eat. A tail, shouted both possum at once. For them it was a brand new, visible tail. Later on a beach in Perth, they ate a piece of pavlova. Hush's leg appeared. So did her body. "You look wonderful, you precious possum," said Grandma Pose. Next stopped Tasmania, and over the sea they went. In Hobart, late one night, in the kitchen of the casino, they saw a lamington on a plate. Hush closed her eyes and nibbled. Grandma Pose held her breath and waited. "It worked! It worked!" she cried. And she was right. Hush could be seen from head to tail. Grandma Pose hugged Hush, and they both danced. Here we go around the badminton plate. Too early in the morning. From that time onwards, hush was visible, but once a year, on her birthday, she and Grandma Pose ate a Vegemite sandwich, a piece of pavlova, and a half a badminton, just to make sure that hush stayed visible forever. And she did. Thank you so much for listening.